Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Aaron Ashvin, and Eid Mubarak to everyone who's celebrating it, and Eid Mubarak to everyone who's not celebrating it as well. So today we're going to be talking about food, what you should be having and what you probably should be avoiding based on recent results and recent statistics and recent data. So let's get to it. So when it comes to poultry, like chicken or any type of chicken products, I think it's safe to say that they're pretty lean in itself. That's why they're sometimes referred to as white meat as opposed to red meat. But what we should be focusing on is red meat. Red meat meaning beef, lamb, goat. Well, I think that's pretty much everything that most people consume worldwide. So we're going to be talking about these three. Many recent data and many recent research shows that red meat has a positive correlation with your likelihood of developing cancer at a later stage. And there are many research to indicate this. Not only that, I can say something from my own personal experience. No, I never had cancer due to the overeating of red meat, mind you. When I say by my own experience, what I mean is that I myself have heard from an oncology specialist that when I went to an actual leadership conference back in 2016, somewhere near Fort Myers, I'm not completely sure where exactly it was located, but the doctor was from a reputable clinic and was a reputable doctor himself, and he described some of the things that he does in his own life and some of the things that he knew. And one of the things he mentioned in his speech was that when people migrated or immigrated from Asia to the United States, they were more likely to contract cancer. And the reason for that, as he stated, was because since Asians have a more fish-based or vegetable-based or carbohydrate-based diet, after they come to the United States or any of the North American or South American countries, what happens is that their diets change significantly and becomes predominantly, meat-based. I mean, I'm sure if you live in the United States, you know how much meat we consume already. So this is one correlation that he did describe, and the other thing that he said was to avoid foods that are processed, like frozen goods and things of that sort, because frozen goods have something called preservatives in them. And many preservatives have high nitrate contents, which have been shown to have positive correlations with cancer as well. So let's try to avoid those. So frozen goods, please say no to them, unless it's homemade, of course. And he also said that most of the meals that they have at home with him and his family are mostly home. I can tell you one more thing from my personal life is that I have seen a difference myself, because once I stopped having food which were frozen and things of that sort, which predominantly was what my diet consisted of back in 2015, it's not just because of weight. That also, of course, is something that you need to be concerned about. But okay, before we go on to the next thing, so let's just put a disclaimer on. I did not stop eating red meat altogether, because at the end of the day we still need our proteins, and even though red meat is not the only way to get protein, it is one of the easiest and fastest way to get natural protein into our systems. But seafood has proven to be more and more, a healthier source of protein, and they have different essential oils like omega-6s and things of that sort that prevent you from getting headaches, and they have many other benefits as well. So if you ask me, I think we should go back to a little more of a seafood-based diet rather than a meat-based diet. And also, you're slowing down global warming. That's because a loss of demand for red meat would cause an underproduction of red meat, which would mean that less cows have to be grazed and raised, which would bring down land prices, and of course it would also decrease the amount of greenhouse gases emitted from animals. But again, at the same time, I'm not asking you to completely get rid of red meat from your life, of course. Having it once or twice a week is completely fine, and in some cases you actually need it. So there's no reason that you shouldn't be having red meat, but it's just that you should be cutting down on it as much as possible. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is saturated fats. So saturated fats increasingly are proving to be more and more harmless, as recent research suggests. This is because we misunderstood much of the things about saturated fats or the chemical orientation of it. It's not that we didn't know what it was, it's just that we assumed that it did something, but it proved to do something else according to many clinical researchers. And I will be putting everything that I talk about in the description below. So don't forget to check it out if you're interested. Anyway, so while on the other hand, trans fats are the things that we should actually be avoiding strictly. This is not something that I'm recommending or that I'm saying that it's fine for you to have once or twice a week. Just don't go near those things. What has trans fats, you ask? Very good question. And anything that has been deep fried in any sort of hydrogenated oil has trans fats. Simple as that. Well, hydrogenated oils are pretty cheap to find. Most restaurants and fast food places would be interested in them. So basically, when you go to McDonald's next time, try not to get anything that's actually fried or breaded and fried or anything of that sort. Just try getting some grilled chicken or something. And if that doesn't help your appetite, then go somewhere else, because you should not be having McDonald's anyways. Red meats have a lot of saturated fats, so if you do not trust the recent studies that have been showing that saturated fats are increasingly proven to us to be less harmful, maybe we should stop eating red meat. Okay. Anyways, so right now, since saturated fats are proving to be more and more friendly, we could actually increase our consumption on dairy products. But at the same time, remember that do not have too much of your milk, because milk is acidic. Your stomach is acidic, and so you can already guess what happens then. The bottom line is, red meat, avoid as much as possible. Milk, you're probably fine exactly what you're having right now. Seafood, increase consumption as much as possible. And trans fat, like any fried stuff from any fast food restaurant or any restaurants in general, or perhaps even at home, try your best to avoid every single bit of it. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.